and welcome to the program. I am Sharon Ijason. On Labour Lens this week, we will be focusing on local government autonomy. But first, let's take the news. We will be right back. The Nigerian Labour Congress has urged the federal government to ensure that implementation of the new minimum wage does not exceed September 2018.
Clearly, two of the tripods of social partnership, i.e. labor and employers, are already in agreement over the national minimum wage. We urge the last remaining leg of the tripod, which is the government, to do the needful and give Nigerian workers a deserving new national minimum wage before the end of August 2018.
At the 61st yearly meeting of Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA Director General Segun Oshinowo spoke on industrial harmony, which he says will foster growth in the Nigerian economy.
And over the past 61 years, NECA has been working with the other social partners to maintain industrial peace in Nigeria. And through that, we've been able to support the growth of the Nigerian economy. We've been able to boost Nigerian productivity. We've been able to improve the lot of the workers. So to that extent, I think NECA has played an important role in the development of the Nigerian economy as we have today. Yes, we've had our challenges, but by the time you take account of all that, one key achievement of NECA over the years is the promotion of industrial harmony.
We believe that we, the government and labor, we call ourselves social partners, and we all have the same responsibility, the same objective, which is what? To keep improving the socio-economic interest of our country.
Organized private sector NECA agreed to pay the new national minimum wage once it's passed into law.
The national minimum wage you have kept down for almost 5 years cannot meet the reality of today for Nigerian workers. So in principle, we are in support of that. But the issue of the quantum or the level of the increase is something that will be subject to negotiation, which we already have in the National Minimum Wage Committee. And as our members had faithfully in time past implemented the national minimum wage, the Nigerian people can count on employers to faithfully implement the outcome of the ongoing discussion on national minimum wage.
The Employers of Labour Association also introduced 33 new businesses that have joined the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria has expressed dissatisfaction over the deplorable state of access roads to the nation's seaports, especially the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway, saying it is totally unacceptable. President General of the Union, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, accused the federal government of breaching the agreement reached with the union that the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway would be motorable before the end of July.
This ultimatum that was issued out was as a result of the dilapidated road, and I don't want to say whether we're about to renew it or to review it, but the NEC will give us their word on that. If they have failed in their obligations as a government, who promised that second quarter of the year they are going to do something, and I only commended them for the effort being put in place in Apapa Road, but the Tinker Island port is as bad as anything. It's not motorable, and the activities there is not good.
Other labor leaders of the union spoke on revenue leakage in Nigeria Ports Authority, adding that the union is aware of illegal ship-to-ship operations in West and Central African waters offshore.
The situation still remains the same. Every day you see trucks lying off the road, along the road. There's a traffic gridlock every day, and the place has constituted a haven for hoodlums to attack our members. And of course, our members do trek to work and to back to the office every day. It's becoming unbearable. Of course, our ultimatum subsists We hope, we pray, and that before the end of the ultimatum, the road will fix. But I doubt whether it can be done. But if it's not done, I think the union will go back to the drawing board and take an action.
Ship to ship, transloading that is going on in the midstream. There are things that are involved. Number one, there is financial leakage. And we are stating and saying, Tropical West Africa Nigeria Limited, there is no refinery in Lagos. There is no refinery in Cotonou midstream. If there is such, they should tell Nigerians where it is. And so every of the product they bring in, such products come from outside, and they should pay in dollars. Nigerian Ports Authority does not have the authority to give them any form of waiver. Nigerian Ports Authority should charge them the accurate money they are supposed to pay. If they are seeking for waiver, they should go to federal government. It is federal government that will give them waiver, and not the managing director of Nigerian Ports Authority.
It was concluded during the NEC meeting that industrial action appears to be the only option to draw government's attention to the plight of workers, business owners, and residents of Oshodi-Apapa Expressway.
As a local government worker, I think we've not been enjoying all what we're supposed to enjoy for us to perform optimally. And you will agree with me that when you have a financial autonomy, we are going to enjoy workings in the local government, because there are a lot of things that the council chairman and the executive are supposed to be doing. But because of the fact that they don't have the autonomy, I think they are constrained to do all those things. So if we have local government autonomy, I want to confess to you that there will be a lot of developments that will be visible to the people.
Local government autonomy, it is an important aspect that will change the life of local government workers, positive change. It will bring what we call independence to the staff, to workers generally. It will bring what we call freedom, what we call good staff welfareism to workers all over the world, in Nigeria especially. We want local government autonomy because we want people to stand up and face up the challenges we face in the local government.
Noge has led the struggle. Prior to this time, I'm sure Mr. President is even #1 supporter of local government autonomy. What we need to do, and I'm sure the Senate and House of Rep in their resolution then support local government autonomy. It is this emperor, I mean emperor by all these our taxi governors who are leaking the local government. And you see most of them that are even with state governor now in the Senate, they see the difference now. Most of them when in the Senate now, they now support local government autonomy. But when they are in the state, they believe in emasculating finances of local government. I think the pressure, protest, and every other union means to get the governor change their mind. Whether we like it or not, the state assembly have gotten their financial autonomy now. I'm sure they will see why local government should get their own as well. By the moment they are independent, they elect their officers by themselves. The moment they are left off the upstream of the state governor, they will see that without independent and financial autonomous local government, the development we are currently for, we might not get it. Look at South Africa, the US and co. All these people, our big men going to abroad, they were living in council flats. They were where they were all these buses and so, health sector and so on. It is being all the services because we are closer to the grassroots. And without finances, absolutely nothing could be done.
Autonomy is very good, and one, the local government is the most nearer to the community, to the grassroots. They need to be given the autonomy so that they can make an active effect to the grassroots people. Example, construction of road, construction of drainages, and some other important issue that they can handle on their own without looking to the states or the federal government.
The best way for any system to work is for independence of each of the tiers. And so we have a tripartite meeting not too long ago, and we concluded to look into the issue of autonomy for local government so that Nigeria as the leader in Africa will also meet up and match up with the advanced economy in the world. And that is where we are moving towards to.
Local government autonomy is one thing that is long overdue. It is to salvage the entity called Nigeria, which is the only solution to what everybody is dreaming of, which is, of course, democracy. It is the cradle of peace. So there's no how you want to talk about good governance, there's no how you want to talk about dividends or giving back to the people without local government autonomy. I want to tell you that local government autonomy is embedded with so many gains. Like we all know, that's the closest government to the people. And if anybody is going to feel anything, if anybody is going to talk about good governance, if anybody is going to say that this government is our government, then there's no how you not talk about local government autonomy.
On the Profile interview segment this week, I will be speaking with the president of Norgay. He will be sharing with us the importance of the local government being independent in a federal system of government. Join me. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Sharon.
What progress could you say Norgay has actually made so far in ensuring that Nigerian system of government ensures that the local government actually has autonomy?
Well, I want to say that the update is so far so good. Although we are faced with a very stiff resistance from most of the state assemblies so far. But clearly, when the bill from the National Assembly transmitted to state houses of assembly, it was warmly received by the various state assemblies across the country. And that was when some state assemblies quickly swung into action and started processing the transmitted bill. I think it was started from Benue State House of Assembly. The Assembly of Benue State was the first that passed the bill into law. And it went like that up to about 9 state assemblies when the Nigerian Governors Forum realized that if they continue keeping mute, the bill for the local government autonomy may scale through. And I believe Nigerians are aware when they quickly summoned a joint meeting in Abuja between the Forum of the Speakers of the House of Assemblies and the Nigerian Governors Forum. The outcome on what transpired in the meeting was not officially and formally made public to Nigerian people, but when confronted by many journalists, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum denied the fact that the issue of local government autonomy was one of the major interests that made the forum to cajole the forum of the state speakers to a joint meeting for the first time in the history of the two groups. And we were reliably informed that in the meeting, actually the main issue they discussed was the issue of local government autonomy, which the governors showed a lot of concern and worried that they must find a way of stopping it. We were also told reliably by even some of the governors that they agreed and sealed a deal between the speakers of the House of Assemblies and the Governors Forum that the autonomy for the speakers, they will have no problem with it. They can have their own autonomy, but that of the local government should be conceded to the governors. And that was why abruptly after the meeting, the process in various state assemblies was stopped halfway. I want to recollect exactly at that time, the bill in Kano State House of Assembly was almost passing the second reading when it was put on force. In Jigawa State House of Assembly, the Assembly had already concluded the public hearing, and which, according to the result, made public by the leadership of the House of Assembly of Jigawa State, the majority opinion of the citizens of Jigawa State was in favor of the autonomy bill. So that was how the process was hijacked. And up to now, if you contact any state assembly, they will tell you that they are going to consult widely. I don't know how wide the consultation is going to be. And we believe they are just playing around, and they are doing the bidding of the governors.
And moving forward, what should be the role of the local government in Nigeria? Would you say that the local government are allowed to actually perform optimally as expected by the Constitution of Nigeria?
We in local government believe that with a free, functional, democratic local government system in place, a lot of ugly situations in Nigeria are going to change. First, we need to understand why local government, even in developed countries, are still sustained. They are sustained because for you to have an inclusive approach to governance, you must have a government that is closer to the people, a government that is at the doorstep of every community. And that government is a community government, which is the local government we are talking about. It is there. It's a deliberate, creation to enhance inclusiveness in governance. And by having inclusive participation in governance, you can understand the magic that can do. In the area of security challenges, you need to have a holistic approach to it. Just recently, when President Muhammadu Buhari visited President Trump of the United States of America, one of the key issues President Trump reiterated on the challenges, security challenges precisely in Nigeria, that President Muhammadu Buhari must find a way of ensuring that inclusiveness is adhered strictly in the address or attacking the security challenges in the country. And he went ahead and clearly mentioned that for Nigeria to be more stable, the local government, the community authorities, the sub-regional government, that is state government in that case, and the national government must come together to see what they can do to arrest the situation. And as at today, it is very clear that local government is just existing by name, but in function, Nigerians know that local government is completely, incapacitated by the level of encroachment they suffered by the government of the state. And that is one critical issue and things that the local government autonomy will bring to Nigeria. In the area of poverty-related issues, it is the local government that understand the language, the culture of each community. And if you allow that community to govern themselves in a way and manner they themselves understand, certainly they will be in the best position to exploit all the, potentialities within the communities, both the human and material potentials within the communities. But now the gap is becoming wider. A lot of untapped potentials are left unattended at the local level. And because of the poor enabling environment in the local government, that also increase the rural-urban migration, which if you go around to major cities in Nigeria, you will see how young people are trooping from rural areas to cities. And when they come to cities, all in search of greener pasture, the greener pasture is nowhere to be found. And they form themselves in criminal gangs gangs of armed robbery, gangs of kidnappers, and so on and so forth, because they must leave and the opportunity is no longer there. And our governors sincerely are very, very insensitive to these issues. What they are, they focus more on is their political interest and the financial benefit derived from the encroachment into local government administration. So there are a lot of things it will bring, and it will serve like a stabilizing factor in the governance of the nation.
Just recently, the Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai, sacked more than 4,000 workers, local government workers to be precise. Is there any updates on these workers? Is there any process that you think the government should actually ensure they achieve so that we don't have more workers actually losing their job in the system?
Well, the update is that the retrenchment in Kaduna is still ongoing. El-Rufai did not stop at the earlier 4,000 plus workers he sacked from local government and other sectors. The downsizing of workers in Kaduna is still ongoing. I'm saying so because I know after that, series of retrenchment and retirement is still going on. I was made to understand through a report from the Kaduna State branch of our union that after the first batch is like a continuous process, as I said. Any member of staff, be it in local government or state service, that serve for 30 years, 31, 32, El-Rufai will just, sack him. So almost any employee in the service of Kaduna State that has about 2 years to his retirement age, either by age or by years of service, El-Rufai will just push him out.
Without salary? Without benefit?
Yeah, I don't think he's paying the benefit. That is the fact of the matter, but there are a lot of promises that their benefit are going to be processed and so on and so forth. So that is the ugly situation we find ourselves in Kaduna, and it's very unfortunate. This is happening under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari, as we have been saying. We had written to the presidency, we had written to everywhere, and it's like the government sincerely is not all that sensitive to listen to the problems at hand.
What role do you think Norgay can play in ensuring that Nigeria is actually safe, especially when it comes to the security? Before now, how does the local government operate to ensure that lives and properties are actually secured?
Well, the truth of the matter is that as at today, the functions and responsibilities of local government are completely eroded and are usurped by the state government. And the state government, in most cases, fail to connect to those rural areas and our communities. And because of their failure to connect, after destroying the local government system entirely, that creates a lot of chaos. And because of the saturated situation in the local government and our communities, a lot of social ills and evils are happening. So the truth of the matter is that until we try to make our governors, state governors, to understand the importance of local government to the generality of the Nigerian people and allow local government to function well, I'm telling you, we will never get it right. So we need to fix this level of government because Nigeria is a diverse country. And in our diversity, like we said, lies our strengths. And how can we exploit those strengths in the diversity is by ensuring that the weaker in society, the minority in the society are adequately provided for. And how can you provide for them? Is by giving them the opportunity to administer themselves in the way and manner they believe they can live in harmony, they can live in peace. If you look at various states, particularly, take the Kaduna state, for example. Kaduna is a state of different tribes, different religions. And for you to have stability in Kaduna, you need an active local government system so that every community that reside within a particular local government at least will have some sense of belonging. Yes, we choose or we elect our chairman, we elect our local government councillors, and we are getting our money to administer ourselves in a manner that will address our aspirations. So, but if you continue to believe that a governor in a particular state that is complex, like Kaduna, certainly we will never get it right.
It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
And that's all we can take on this edition of the program. Join us next week for a very interesting package of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.